opposite side. I think the only thing that will be worthy to take is going to be Phantom Execution, just as a form of escape mechanism.
That is true. Maybe even, dare I say, Traction Pulse. That's a fight turner.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just going to be very difficult to engage in the lane and play the long run of things. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1 in this best of 3. One of these teams are moving up into the next stage of the wild card between Legion Esports and Rare Atom.
Now, right off the bat, we do have both of the junglers will be starting. Okay, both of the junglers starting on the northern side, so they will end off at the EXP lane. So perhaps this is going to be a little bit more of a going to be a lot of fights going on down at the bottom lane. I don't expect too much from Meow this early on, especially since there's going to be a lot of rotations going in. So Meow can't technically play so much of that proxying to upkeep on the Radiant stacks.
I love how Meow actually invested in the agility. Shocker getting a little bit of damage. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be difficult for him. Palay, no, force the flicker so soon.
Too soon. But at least with 120 seconds, technically speaking, you would miss that timing for the first turtle. Hopefully, we don't see a need for him to pop that off.
I mean, that's one problem. The other is, can he reach level 4 in time? He got displaced. It's a technical knockout. He got sent home early, and I guess he can equalize with the EXP passive on Valentina. But let's talk about the gold lane here. Daylight versus Mikey. I'd reckon it's a skill matchup if the Moscow can find the angles. And of course, the extra guidance from Cram God should pay dividends. Now, Meow, again, the fact on agility, Uranus is so slow, man. I played Uranus jungle, I played Uranus XP earlier today. He's just so slow.
He's very slow.
He needs the extra move speed.
So getting the agility is always a nice touch. That way you will just constantly be right in the face of your enemies and just give them absolutely no comfort spot.
See, here we go. They switch up, giving some EXP in mid to Meow. Don't jump
in! With a flicker going in, just wanting to get a kill out onto Joga, and manages to successfully do that. That is the jungler that is out of commission from the side of Legion Esports, effectively giving Rare Atom a very good chance to take this turtle down.
Abstract, they're still staying. What's the plan here? Cram God doesn't have an ult. Shocker does have one. Here comes the SOD!
Well, Lanaya still managed to take that in the bag, no problem. Legion Esports, even though they were a little bit comical at that one, they still managed to back off.
Hope is free, all right? It's one thing to say, maybe we can get it, but without a retribution, without a solid plan, best case scenario for Legion Esports, no one else died. Rare Atom, clearly in control, up by about 400, 500 gold. Relatively low committal lineup. But I guess that's one of the strengths of the double, triple marksman lineup. As long as you have a solid front line, your marksmen are around, and your opponents aren't in your face as much as they'd like to. Again, luckily they're playing with just a Uranus and a Grok. What if they were playing with something like, again, a Lapu-Lapu, an Arlot, or a Terizla? Would be much worse. So maybe that's what we're waiting for. Joga, what's Joga doing? Joga!
Not in a good spot, but never mind. He's still pretty okay. He does have got the temporal rain to at least get himself a second dash in.
Yep, extra dashes once the ult gets popped. Now, back to the fact of the matter is Rare Atom have total control. Until Legion Esports do something to take them out of this comfort zone, then expect this 500 goal lead to, again, there you go, balloon up to 600, 700, 1,000 approaching.
I'm looking for the power spike of Legion Esports. When is the point in time where they start to kind of fight back against Rare Atom and stands a decent chance?
I reckon third turtle. Usually that's where some teams go and say, yeah, it's been a tough laning phase. 6 minutes passed. We can try again. Let's go. Legion Esports, I'm guessing they're waiting for that because now at least Shocker has a better grasp of their opponent's rotations, better grasp at how they can steal ults better.
But one thing's for sure, though, Lanaya and Joga manages to find themselves in the same XP range. So even if Joga happens to, you know what, let me just go and steal some turtle games, that is still a very viable thing. If you do not want to commit into a full-blown fight for the turtle, at least as a assassin, you can kind of dash in, dash out, and kind of do what you can.
I guess that's one good thing both teams have going for them. They both have assassins. They both can kind of steal moments away, despite the huge momentum shift. Powerful. A lot of pressure on a Meow. This is good for Meow. Radiant stacks. Always happy to have him. Down bottom, Joga putting pressure on Don. It's not working, man.
Yeah, it's a full-blown ultimate that's already been used, and then just tickles Dawn just a tad little bit.
Don don't care. Turtle started up already by Rare Adam. Down to 3/4. Cat9 putting up a Vanguard here. Drops the Glorious Pathway.
The Glorious Pathway pushes Joga away. Meow is still within of the mids and hoping to see something, but it doesn't seem like Rare Adam is going to give Legion Esports any space at all.
Still nothing, despite all of the efforts. Daylight, oh, forced the flicker, what was that?
I think this is still going to be fine. The Traction Pulse at least forced the flicker. That is 120 seconds of that battle spell. Rare Adam would do whatever they can to kind of occupy the entirety of the map, with the Rivalizers completely dominated by them. Legion Esports just don't dare to get close at all.
All right, this is impressive. Despite the struggle that Legion Esports are going through in the laning phase of Game 1, Joga still got a 200-300 gold lead onto Lanaya.
I'm surprised.
A lot of pressure. Oh my God! What is a gold lead? To an angry Apu-Lapu. Don catches him one-on-one. Sir!
That's a gold lead gone now.
Sir, that's not... What?
Oh man, this is how tanky and how damaging a Lapu-Lapu is at this point in time.
Note, never commend small wins in odd positions. That was so... What was it? That was the second or third time he tried to kill Don, but he got killed instead.
Indeed. In fact, he didn't really quite learn his lesson the first time. Even though he went all out with his ultimate, he didn't even get Don to 1/4 of his HP.
Mind you, this is post-patch Lapu-Lapu. In the most recent hot fix, 1.9.92, they reduced his damage reduction. So that means he's been getting kills and been outscaling the damage of Joga early on by just using the Bravest Fighter second skill on a solo target. That's minimal damage reduction.
This is just absolutely crazy, right? And now Dawn, he's not in a very good spot though, as the Spear of Destruction is just going to land right on top of Dawn. He doesn't have a lot of spell fan to work with, as 4 members are utilized just to bring him down.
Numbers don't lie, man. It's hard to fight against 4 no matter how ahead you are. And that lead so far, pushing up to 2,000 gold here. Rare Adam making sure that the third turtle power spike, what we were expecting at least, optimistically for Legion Esports, is still but a long shot. Lanaya here, cornered by the Guardian's barrier. Doesn't matter, can dash right through. And wow, it's Meow first to the scene. What's going on?
He always want to be there first, but it doesn't seem like Legion Esports have got a lot of backups or secondary inputs to really help Meow out. They have to go all the way out for Crime God in order for them to get themselves in. And finally, Joga takes a turtle for themselves with the Glorious Pathway, allowing Rare Adam to kind of chase up against Joga, but unfortunately no can do for them.
What's odd is Lanaya was there actually. It seemed like for about 20-30 seconds, Legion Esports pulled the plug. Rare Adam, their processors, they just stopped. They couldn't comprehend exactly how Mia was staying underneath a pit for so long, relatively unharmed, and how Joga, I reckon it's because of the EXP and the gold that he's weirdly enough ahead on Lanaya. From where's he getting this? There are still some greens left. Is it just me or is he stealing?
300 gold.
Is he stealing? Is he always crossing over? Where Lanaya's actively taking his own camp, Joga's taking the other half?
I don't think so, actually. I've been seeing Joga down in the lanes a lot more often. He seems like he's clearing out the waves and he's doing cleanup duty for some of these waves, at least to play on the macro standpoint.
So he's taking his own jungle, he's taking the lanes.
Bottom lanes, yeah.
And is this because he's just faster slightly than a Lancelot that has to pay attention to other objectives?
I would like to believe so, and especially since you can, of course, use the dash anytime. Well, in the meantime, Lanaya mostly just wants to dash from one unit to another. But in the meantime, take a look at the top lane. Meow has Flicker.
Meow is rocking Flicker down bottom. Oh. How about round 3, baby? Joga versus Don. He's got Cram God to assist him. That's not fair.
Yeah, it's fine.
But they still retreated. You see that?
Yep.
Don sent them back.
2-person ran away from Don. They know just how crazy Don is. In fact, I think Don has, 8,000 gold in his bank right now?
Big flex. Big flex. He is the most successful member of Rare Adam. Looking at it now, he's gold up 2,000.
Okay,
he's up 2,000 on Meow. And you know what? Looking back, that might actually be detrimental to Rare Adam. You would want this gold lead on your cores. You want it on Lanaya, Paufu, on Mikey, but it being on Don, it actually bite them in the behind. Might not. That's not the best place for the gold to be.
But perhaps it would definitely help them in the early to the mid stages of the game, but...
Which we're leaving, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So now the scaling is on Joga. The scaling is definitely on the daylight for Tad a little bit, but in the meantime, Shocker actually takes away that glorious pathway and just trying to look for something. Cram got all the way at the back, but where is Joga though? Because the Lord currently is already lower than half HP. Lanaya is focusing on the Lord as much as possible, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Joga was able to make it in time, but he went straight in for Mikey. Mikey with a hop, giving a jump, he ensures to get himself away from the hands of Joga, but the rest of the members coming from the Southern Legion Esports continue the onslaught down onto Rare Adam, allowing Daylight to come in with a lot of those piercing damage with Powerful as well as Cat9 going down, but unfortunately at the cost of his own life.
Daylight popped there. Might have bitten off more than he could chew. Legion Esports, a very ambitious approach. One, they tried to go for the steal. There was just way too much happening underneath the Lord for that to happen. Joga did try his darndest, but second, Legion Esports, I think Lord was secondary. They went for the turn. Most importantly, they went for the turn, and they did get Mikey. They didn't get Mikey. They get Cat9. They got Pao Fu. That was one of the first casualties. But at the end of the day, I think Rare Adam still won out, especially with the kill on Daylight.
It doesn't seem like Joga have got an avenue to get himself closer to the closer over to the Lord, because he was kind of stuck in the middle lane brushes and trying to look for. Hey, maybe, oh wait, there we go, Mikey finally going down to the hands of Joga as this is going to spawn up into a huge fight. Joga is going to go down to the hands of Lanaya, and Lanaya picking himself out with a double kill. In fact, with Meow down for the count now, with all of these two members down, Rare Adam actually finds himself in a really good opportunity.
I'm seeing a pattern, and it's not even in game. Abstract, is it just me, or does Legion Esports take a while to warm up? They need game one to figure out their opponent's patterns, to understand what their opponent's getting up to. And I hate to say it, but they seem to be one of those download teams. You ever heard of a download game?
Download game?
Yeah, a game wherein win or lose, most likely lose, you take every single resource you can to try and understand your opponents. Because that's what happened yesterday against the Mongols.
So just absorb whatever you can in game number one and just bank everything in for the following few games.
Yeah, because the way Legion Esports is playing in game number one, 12 minutes in, is it's very reactive. It's very, okay, you do you, we'll see what we can get away with. You do you, we'll try this thing. It doesn't work, okay, we'll try it again. If we lose, so be it. There's still game 2 and game 3. Right. That seems to be what's going on. Again, Legion Esports far from losing, ladies and gentlemen. They still have their inhibitors. They are down, but what, 4,000, 3,000 and a half gold? It's just the first lore that went down, but...
Still recoverable, though. It's very, very recoverable.
It's not as proactive a Legion Esports as I'd like.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is, they're very, okay, we'll see. It's always we'll see.
Very aggressive stance coming from Southern Lanaya. Rare Adam more or less have gotten all of the exterior turrets down already, and they will want to control the entirety of Legion Esports jungle. But Daylight trying to seize an opportunity, and he will be able to get a kill down on the Mikey in a 1v2 fashion. Cat9 couldn't even find that point in time to just get himself right in close of Daylight. As the Spear of Destruction lands on the Cat9, Daylight re-enters into the battlefield. Dawn trying to catch up onto him, flickers forward with a great stun, but Daylight is still alive. Powerful flickers on forward, and sure that he brings down the marksman. But this is not looking good for Rare Adam. But never mind, because Lanaya joins in the fray, allows him to get himself one kill. We are now in 3 versus 2. And now, Legion Esports, they still have Meow. He can drag on this game however he wants, and just pulling these 3 people.
Especially with the kind of heroes left for Rare Adam. Cat9, Lanaya, Dawn, here comes Joga!
I don't think that they will be able to get a kill out of Dawn. Let's be honest here. He's got a lot of farm to his name. And Lanaya takes the finishing blow onto Mel, effectively staggering his death.
Mid-fight, Lanaya picked up an endless battle. Abstract, this may be the bruiser Lancelot that we've come to see. The rise of this Lancelot that builds endless battle, War Axe, Brute Force, Breastplate, Queen's Wings. This might be it. If it was the other build, the older build, sure, they would have killed Joga first, but good luck trying to take down Meow in a long-term fight like that, a long chase. Let's check it out now. Oh, he's on the way. But it looks like it's closer to the old school Lancelot.
Very hybrid, then.
Just pure. No, there's not a single defense item here. This is just old school Lancelot.
Old school Lancelot.
I bet that last item would be either a halberd or a malefic roar, just straight up.
I would like to believe that it would be a halberd to really just deal with Meow, with all things considered. But Dawn, 1v5! And he almost got away with it, but he bought enough time. With the middle lane and the top lane just pushing right in. The Lord is ready to plunder with a spiraling trident, taking quite a chunk of HP away from the T3 turret.
And that's the base, permanently damaged. Legion Esports have to tend to the top lane inhibitor. luckily, the next Lord will spawn in that same lane. So the long lane can still take care of itself. There's still an inhibitor there, but you know, damage is done. Turrets don't respawn is what I'm trying to say. Legion Esports have to reconcile this 4K gold lead some way, somehow. I like it though. Just as we were saying that Legion Esports very, very reactive, Daylight says, gentlemen, you haven't seen nothing yet. He tried to make a play and it was relatively successful up to a certain point, but this just shows that into the late game, 15 minutes in, they still got something left in the tank. They're not giving up all hope. Like, maybe the first 12 minutes was a download, but now, I think they figured it out.
They can kind of play and just kind of pull the 50-50 game, right? As long as you are able to just wipe out the opponent's team, a single rundown in the middle lane can definitely be possible. One thing's for sure, though, Uranus is also a very late game scaling hero. The moment that you are able to get the very important items, such as Oracle, Brute Force Breastplate.
Neither of which are here.
Which neither of them are here. All he wants, as Meow, all he wants to do is just soak damage. Even if he dies or not, is all reliant on the Radiant stacks. For me, I'm not a big fan of that because you already have a Grog all the way up in front to soak up all the damage. If you're able to weave in and out of the battle, at least you have three thick tanks to kind of go through.
All right, Cat 9. Daylight's not going to take this line down. That's a good point. But here's the thing. Cram God can't absorb as much damage as you'd like. The Ancient Gift. Oh my god, wait, Lanaya wants some!
CC immunity allows him to get himself away, but he lost half HP.
All right, a good chunk of Rare Adam's damage is magical. There is straight up infinite magic damage coming from Powerful.
Right, fair.
Cram God can't stand in front of that. Even with the Radiant Armor, it's not as efficient. So you'd still want Meow to be kind of that sponge. Kind of that hero that just stands in the meat shield for Legion Esports to allow Joga to pierce through, to allow Daylight to get those basic attacks in. So now what I'm looking for is a coast-to-coast. I'm looking for, again, this same position here. I want Daylight to be in the lower part of the map, push that slowly, and then join the fight eventually.
Understandable. So at least they do have a little bit of global presence they can play around with for the Spirit of Destruction. So it's a very simple idea for Legion Esports and simple to execute, right? Send two front lines, soak as much damage, allow Joga, Shaka, as well as Daylight deal enough damage.
And that's exactly why they're first to the scene here. Despite being down, despite being on the back foot, Legion Esports have a straight-up plan. It's very simple. And now Lanaya's in trouble, gets struck down by Joga.
Lanaya all alone up in the top lane, and now we no longer have a jungler for the side of Rare Adam. Legion Esports can seize this opportunity. The top lane is completely pushed out right now. It's either they lose both these turrets and the Lord, or what else is going to be, as two of the Glorious Pathway just going to be worked out right now. Joga finds out himself all the way at the back lines. He gets a kill down on the Mikey. They can try to run down the middle lane, but there's still three people in here, so just take the Lord down.
Massive losses for Rare Adam in the blink of an eye. Could have sworn they had the advantage there. 2,000 gold lead. The map was red, but suddenly Joga strikes. And down fall to Lanaya and Mikey. Nowhere to be found. The two cores of Rare Adam lose them, the Lord. Legion Esports now in control. This is what I'm talking about. This is what we were looking for.
This is what you're talking about the fact that the economy and the goal is going to the wrong person. Because now it does seem like Rare Adam, because of the fact that most of the money is on to Dawn, they can't close the fight past, or rather before 15 minutes, even though it seems like they are on that lead.
That's one of the reasons why, but another is they didn't bear down on Joga hard enough. They didn't deny Daylight the space to farm, and now these two cores from Legion Esports are online. And the fact that Shocker has been, stealing 80% of the time, Glorious Pathway, means they just have maybe 3 tanks. There's 3 tanks, Cram God, Shocker, and Meow. I don't think Shocker's building tanks, but, you know, this is where we are. This is what it is. Daylight pushing in. 2 inhibitors in jeopardy.
Yep, the Plundering Lord now have just went down, but we also have a very crossing Glorious Pathway going out. We do have the Lion tries to push out onto Shaka a tad little bit, but not going to be too big of a problem. A defense from Rare Adam.
Rare Adam has great wave clear on a scale of 1 to 5. I put it at 3.5, 4, if I'm being pretty generous, because Powerful just clear, just poof, 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 poof. Mikey has a lot of good basics too. Given it is
Dawn Lanaya too.
Yep, relatively mid-range wave clear. It's so easy. It's non-ult reliant, is what I'm trying to say, compared to the likes of a Farsa or a Zertian that has to clear that way.
Yes,
but
exactly.
It's clearly not as bad as like a Zushin mid. So Rare Adam can take care of themselves, even with the base defense. A minute and a half until another Lord spawns lower quarter. This is I'd say deadlock. We're at equilibrium when it comes to map control, and I like how now Legion Esports, whether it be on a micro or macro scale, are taking proactive measures. They're sending daylight where it matters, and they're letting Meow and CramGod just randomly check bushes now more than ever.
Literally, this game is going down the wire. It could go to anyone now. Legion Esports can run down mid. Rare Adam could run down mid too. But now the main problem is for Rare Adam because the most recent fight, they lost. Is it really all about the economy that Legion Esports managed to back for themselves? Or at this point, it doesn't really matter at all?
No, I'd like to think it's less of the economy. When you cross the 10, 11-minute mark, the whole Dawn situation was a very low impact thing. Like, there was money on Lanaya, money on Paufu, money on Mikey. I think it was just really Joga's instincts catching the MPLID vet in Lanaya off guard. Like, Lanaya's done well to protect himself up until that point. And then suddenly, Wild Joe got hurt.
Honestly, Lanaya just wanted to spread himself out as much as possible, while in the meantime, the rest of the Vanguard hits up forward and trying to open up the map as much as possible. So him being able to be in his own jungle, thinking that he's safe, in the end he's not, completely just sandwiched out into the oblivion.
Respectable. Attempted Grand Theft Purple by Lanaya, denied here by Joga. So back again to the same situation. Wait, look at this angle by CramGod. Wait, Joga pushed out. Meow as well. Here comes the rest of them.
Spear of Destruction is going to land. The Lord is currently down to half HP, working with the rest of the members of Legion Esports as it flies up into the air. Mikey, very aggressive play as these exploding arrows will definitely explode CramGod. Meow all the way at the back lines, flickers himself away. The Cyclone's Eye allows him to go far enough, and this pulls Lanaya far back. However, Legion Esports did not take the opportunity to reclaim themselves the Lord because it's just way too risky.
All right. Big picture, long and short of it, bottom line, Legion Esports spread themselves too thin. They took so much time to set up that flank angle by CramGod. It was an immaculate push. He came from right there where Paufu is. That's where the Grok was. But if they found that, if they made that timing work, perfect, but it was just too long, too little, too late. Meow and CramGod died. Another SOD, Shocker with a stolen, Glorious Pathway. Lord, not going to be stolen away here. Rare Adam secures.
Yes, they don't have their front lines at all. As long as there is at least CramGod or Meow, that will be fine for them to try to do something. But with the lack of these two, Rare Adam pretty much know that, okay, we just need to zone them out. There's no way these fragile little creatures will want to inch in any closer.
So now Legion Esports are back to square one because Rare Adam, they found a way to control Legion. But I'd like to think that's more of just a byproduct of Legion switching up their tempo once again. Legion went slow this time around. They changed their angle of attack. They said, CramGod, Meow, it's your turn again. I'm thinking another comeback will come from if Joga does that start again, if Joga can shock them. But wait, they're trying something new, man. We're back to the start. We're back to start. Dawn now. Lanaya coming in. Oh, commits the Phantom Execution.
But I think it's fine. At least the Thorn Rose is also used. The rest of the members from the side of Rare Adam, they're slowly just inching in with the Glorious Pathway used from Shock just to slow the creep down a little bit more, just so that they can kind of clear that wave before they deal with the Lord.
Now the Lord's inside the base, dropping a Glorious Pathway here. Meow's in trouble.
Doesn't seem like things are going to go out too great for the side of Legion Esports because the Lord is just literally knocking onto their doors. But the backlines, though, Joga hoping that he will be doing enough damage as the bruising works out. Cat9 loses the immortality. The next one is going to be Dawn. Double immortality gone now. And now Legion Esports, they dealt with the Lord with no problems. Rare Adam may not have lost anyone, but his two immortalities popped.
And it's not like Legion Esports were happy to go that way. If that fight lasted maybe 3 or 4 more seconds, base would have been gone. If the wave entered and Rare Adam decided to just focus on the base, we would be looking at game 2. But here we are, Legion Esports holding on for dear life. Rare Adam lost their lead because of the lack of focus on the map. They tried to end right then and there, but then the economy swings once more. Now 4,000 gold ahead, Legion Esports. Again, economy to me mattered less at the 10, 15-minute mark. But now we're 24 minutes in. The wild card games, abstract.
They're all long. Honestly,
except for the last one. Yesterday. Yeah. See? So you need me here.
Yes, because of you, we will get good games like this, right?
Obviously not because of me.
Honestly, I really want to highlight about the fact that they use the Glorious Pathway to kind of slow the creeps down in the middle lanes to just ensure that the creeps don't just shove right in, because that is going to be a free entryway for Rare Adam to just walk past the turret without ever being hitting them, right? The moment you touch someone, okay, only then you get the aggro of the Lord. So you slow that creep wave down, you deal with that creep wave, and Rare Adam wouldn't even want to walk it.
Yep. So now Legion Esports understand that same jigsaw puzzle. Shocker gets pushed out of that river brush, and now Rare Adam makes a beeline for the Lord. They see that Daylight is down there, but again, they have to watch out for the SOD. Coast to coast, very macro-intensive maneuvers here by Legion Esports. Now the dance begins.
Another Glorious Pathway stolen. The rest of Rare Adams, they are just hovering around the Lord, while Legion Esports, they're trying to be a little bit sneaky and looking for the perfect opportunity to go right in. With a quick little reset from the side of the Crime God as well as the Glorious Pathway just going to be throwing right out. But Shocker just gets smacked down by Lanaya. The next one onto the target board is, of course, going to be Crime. It's going to be Meow. And Joga also loses his life. But Daylight all the way down to the bottom lane. They're trying to recall. Would that be enough? But unfortunately, it seems like this ballista takes a little bit too long to go down. As such, it's going to be Daylight that will go down, and Rare Adam marches down from the top lane. Nothing that Mel could do as Mikey joins in the garrison.
Game 1 goes over to Rare Adam. Abstract, I can't blame Legion. I can't blame Daylight. That was their only out.
That was the only thing that they can do, realistically speaking.
That was their only out. But here's the thing. Legion orchestrated this. Well into that Lord dance, they sent Daylight down bottom, and you literally could have slowed down time and said, yep, he's still going, he's still going, he's still going. But the punish by Rare Adam, I love the instincts, the game IQ on this squad. Again, the Chinese, they've been growing their MLB ecosystem for the better part of 18 months now. And here we're seeing that they're playing on a global level. Like, yesterday they lost game 1. Today,
they won game 1.
Today they won game 1.
I honestly, this could go quite literally either way, right? Both teams showed their mettle, and they definitely showed what they are entirely capable of with a game that lasted all the way to, what, 25 minutes? Somewhere around 25 minutes, right? So,
give or take.
Oh, man, I just gotta have to say, right? Daylight, that final push down at the bottom lane, they tried to drag on as long as possible. They even have the Grog to kind of construct the wall and hoping that it will be able to reset the Lord. But that also became that siren that tells Rare Adam, run. Go for them.
Shenanigans are afoot. It is not what it seems, good sirs. We must retreat. And they send 2 dudes home. They send the rest of them to fight. And Lanaya to push in and end the game. They didn't even touch the Lord anymore. So again, I love the fast responses and the quick decision-making from both teams. It's just the margin of error was so tiny for Legion that they just completely missed it. As soon as I saw Joga juggling, like Winter Crown into Immortality,
they're just buying time.
He was just literally buying time.
He went through 2 item swaps on that one. Immortality used, and then shortly after with the Winter Crown. Honestly, they did what they could. Absolutely whatever that they could. If only they had a little bit more working for themselves. I think Mel was taken out of commission.
No.
It wasn't. He couldn't. Okay.
Here's where I think. Here's where I reckon things went wrong.
Okay.
Legion were hedging on the fact that maybe Rare Adam would try to kill Meow, but Rare Adam, total 4-head moment, total 5-head moment. It's a 120 IQ, if you would say. They said, no, we're not touching Meow. Joga is the guy. Meow is a patsy. Meow is a scapegoat. And they said, good call, Joe.
Honestly, that ballista stood up a little bit too long. I don't know how that worked out, but I definitely appreciated game number 1. Whatever it is, it could go either way. Eterna, I want to hear a little bit from you after that very grueling match.
Why are you so giddy?
Rare Adam. I was impressed with them yesterday. I'm impressed with them once again, but
She was dancing.
She was the support.
I wasn't.
There was a shoulder shimmy.
No.
Yep.
Shoulder shimmy.
There's no
Real quick.
evidence.
Just real quick, just shoulder.
No.
See,
Rare Adam. Shout out to Michelle once again. But in all seriousness, I was really impressed with the performance of Lanaya. And I think coming into that first game, we saw how imperative Lanaya was towards their gameplay, especially from mid to late game. I think early to mid, it was really hinged on a Dawn.
Dawn.
Right, on the Lapu Lapu once again. I definitely think that's a power pick for him at this point after yesterday's performance and today's performance. But Lanaya really was just the deal breaker, I think, for Rare Atom coming into the later stages of the game. Because we saw when Lanaya was taken out first by Joga, that's when Legion was able to turn things around for themselves. I think that was right before the third Lord?
Yeah.
Second, third Lord.
Second Lord, yes.
Yeah.
So no Lanaya, no game.
No Lanaya, no game.
Which makes sense because, again, you don't want to risk the retry. And I would assume that as one of the veterans of Rare Atom, again, this young man is a MPL ID, MDL ID seasoned player. He's bringing that kind of gravitas to the squad. And it shows, again, as a hero, as, how do I say, straightforward as a Lancelot. And he didn't need to play around. He literally built it the way we've known Lancelots to be built for years now. He just brute for.
Because he went full damage.
Right? Yes,
right? It was a full damage Lancelot
like a
build.
scalpel. It's like a little Excalibur scalpel.
Excalibur scalpel. Yeah,
and luckily enough for Rare Atom, his retributions were also on point. So it was
He never
something
missed.
that they could rely on in these really hectic and chaotic fights that, of course, Legion wanted to look for. But that final bout was just really unfortunate.
I think
for Daylight.
It went the way it should have, because imagine if Rare Atom, they were ahead. They were ahead leading up to this team fight, right? They were ahead leading up to the dance. Imagine if they got tricked. Imagine if they got duped. If they got bamboozled by that, and you see it coming from a mile away. So this is... As much as I'd like Legion to succeed, I think it's just justice that kind of shenanigans didn't happen.
And it was sad because he dashed forward into the...
That too.
Into the turret.
He received a couple of pot shots from the turret
Dash
as well?
outside.
Yeah,
inside.
I think that was that's the least of it. It was more of just the whole thing is like, come on, we know you're going to go for the split. We know you're going to rat race us, so...
Because he missed it, right, I think?
Yeah. So he's like, never mind.
Okay, go the other way. No, but it's good, right? Because technically we do see that Legion, they're quick.
Yep, the backup
plan. They can adapt.
Right?
They can look for the next thing. So we'll see how things go. But I do agree with that sentiment. I think Legion could be a little bit more proactive when it came down to the early stage of the game. Don't allow Rare Atom to set the tempo, set the pace. And hopefully we get those kinds of adaptations coming to game number 2, because I really want to see the fight back from Legion.
Hey, I don't think Legion's going to let us down.
I don't think so.
This is Group A we're talking about.
That's
Legion
true.
definitely knows what they're doing, right? I mean, we did talk about the fact that Group A is quite literally the group of death. They're not going to let it go that easily. They managed to crawl all the way, for yesterday's game. They may have lost game 1, right? And then game number 2, they just kind of went all the way through.
This looks like it has the Legion stamped all over, you know what I mean? TM. It's like
TM.
First pick Uranus. We lose game 1, but it's close game 1. And then...
Because you mentioned that Legion were slow starters.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, it seems like. But that's not a bad thing necessarily. Because that means they like to learn about their opponent first. They like to see what the breadth of what they can get away with is. And apparently, the end of that list is we can't get away with a split push.
Yeah. I think coming game number 2, a lot more emphasis on Lanaya. Because despite Mikey, of course, dealing at the damage, he is the gold laner. There were a lot of moments where his positioning was kind of off.
For Mikey?
For Mikey, which allowed, I think, Legion to find these opportunities, even though Rare Atom were leading from the early game. So, Lanaya, highlight. And
Today. And Dawn.
I would say definitely Dawn.
Yeah.
He played a very crucial part in the early stages of the game. Yes, the money mostly just went over to him, but the fact that he's able to 1v1 against Joga in the early game and really just put him down, I think that is a massive change of pace. The tempo for Joga just wasn't there, and he can only just bank it until he's got...
I think that was more on Dawn than it is on Lapu Lapu versus Joy.
That's more on
It's
Dawn.
just how Dawn plays. He's just impressive.
He's impressive, yeah, really.
I don't know what to do. Like, did you attack Dawn's hero pool? I don't think so. There's way too many valid XP laners right now. So I guess you attack it on a macro scale. You gotta look at the big picture.
What do you think about the Esmeralda ban? I think the Lapu Lapu ban
would have been better.
Would have been better.
I would say that
compared to the Esmeralda ban.
Esmeralda, back in the days, right, has always been an answer to Uranus.
But it becomes a dead lane, right?
Which I think benefits the Uranus. Because if you're taking the Esmeralda away from the team fight,
Exactly.
Fair.
You know what
There's
I mean?
no value of the
Then
Esmeralda
you don't
anymore.
have the Falling Star Moon for the team fight
And
itself.
the shield absorption and the extra damage. Because, all right, I'm going to say a very harsh truth, all right?
Ooh, I'm
Uranus,
scared.
this is a hard pill to swallow. Uranus is more useless than Esmeralda. Literally.
Also, in terms of value,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If a less valuable target pulls a more valuable target,
Exactly.
I win.
Even if their value is like just 0.5 in difference, right? 0.05. Like, so the Uranus should have won that. So I guess, I don't know. That's
I
where
guess
I
we gotta
stand
wait to
here.
find out, right?
Yeah.
I do want to see that matchup, to be honest.
Yeah,
How's it gonna play a part?
I wonder if we're gonna see it because it sounds like the drafts are ready, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into game number 2 to see the fight back, the clap back from Legion Esports. Do you think they're gonna remain on blue side? They were blue side earlier, right?
I think a swap. They didn't have like first pick, first ban with the Uranus first pick, first ban, and naturally when they are on second pick, second ban, they would just take away the Uranus.
Yeah, Legion
see-
played.
Yeah, they literally, quite literally look at Uranus as top tier, number
Yeah.
one pick, must pick kind of thing.
Which is, again, now that we're doing the math on Esmeralda, still makes sense. Like, Coach Sabo is not wrong to prioritize the Uranus that way. So I'd say, doesn't matter. I'd say stay blue. They won against Mongols yesterday, stay in blue. So I don't think this makes a difference. Stay blue.
The selfishness in me wants to see a Dairoth being picked up against the Uranus. I know, obviously, technically, the Uranus wasn't that big of a factor in that first game, but
Yeah.
do you think we'll ever see a Dairoth coming the wild cards?
Dioth is too fragile, in my opinion. Like, people have found solid solutions to it. A good friend of ours, Ray Ash, says Dioth, 100%, well, 90% wins the lane against Uranus, right?
Yes.
But that means no one else is bothering you. That means the jungler, the opponents, the mid laner did not visit you. In my opinion, but since this is a professional game, it's a 5v5 match. You have to assume that everyone will try to kill that Dioth before he makes a difference and wins that lane all the way against the Uranus. So I'd say it's as much as I'd like to see it, right? Maybe even in the jungle.
see it?
Maybe as much as even in the jungle, Dioth. We used to see that.
But that also means that you are shifting the opponent's priority instead of focusing and influencing goal lane. You kind of shift them over to the EXP lane to help a Uranus, which normally wouldn't want help.
Which is again a win for the Uranus.
That's true.
If you're shifting resources to someone so useless, like what? So that's a win still. I don't know.
I don't know.
The 1.9.92 was a win for Uranus, man.
Uranus
oh, no,
is-
that was a nerf. 1.9.90 even. The patch prior to the hotfix, it's Uranus taking over.
Uranus is taking over. I
So
think,
it's good because it's useless.
Exactly.
and like the flexibility of the Uranus.
Oh my god.
Because I don't think the game that we first saw from the Uranus jungle should have lost.
Yesterday,
Who played it again?
Team Falcons
Team Falcons. I don't
up
think it should have
against
lost.
Rare Adam.
I don't think it should have lost. I think there was some miscommunication that happened during their execution. I think we'll touch on that a little bit later, but I don't think that should have lost. So I think Uranus is a big hot pick here in the wildcards, and
He's huge.
he's huge.
Besar.
Massive.
Besar
Kabir.
Kabir.
How many languages do you know?
A lot.
Yes.
He speaks a lot.
I'll help
now.
you with one more. Da. Yes.
What's that?
Big.
In?
Chinese.
Ah,
Oh, Rare Adam would know.
Sorry.
Rare
Mandarin.
Adam would know.
In
Mandarin.
Yes, because Chinese kind of branches out to a lot of different dialects and all.
Cantonese?
Oh, I have no idea.
You're asking too much.
Somebody teach me Cantonese.
You're asking too much.
What's
I
the
can only
Filipino
teach you
word
the
for
not
it?
so good stuff.
Malake.
Malake.
That's a lot of synonyms now.
Oh, but it looks like the draft is Malake. Okay, that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Ignore me.
Let me take the reins.
Yeah. Go ahead, Leo.
Thank you. Eterna, Abstract and Leo taking over for game number 2. Match point for Rare Adam. Coach Sabo, still, I told you, I know my Vietnamese and Filipino boys.
They want to stay in the blue.
And Burmese coach.
Burmese
Still
coach.
number 1 pick, Uranus.
Yep, this is always gonna be a thing for them, huh? They just want to ensure that they get themselves the Uranus. And it seems like when it comes down to their banning style or banning phases, it's a little bit different. It seems like they will cater their bans based on which enemies that they deal with, but not a cookie cutter, okay, I must ban this, I must ban that kind of thing for every game.
So I'd reckon Rare Adam here might go ahead and prioritize the Eastern Shin Zetian or the Kimi Lapu. Like any combination of these heroes, because this is what served them best in previous days.
But Yi Sun Shin has been taken out though, so we
Oh,
are
yeah.
definitely gonna
Done.
do something a little bit different this time.
Still has the high L. What a swerve.
Juicin and the Moskov.
Let me just open up the map real quick here. Macro play seems to be key. They're putting Mikey on a Moskov and then powerful play in the Zushin, which is so different.
Okay.
It's so different from every single hero he's played, all wild card long.
So Mikey, so far when it comes down to the Mikey, what are the... Okay, so he's played an Irithel, he has played Irithel again, and then a Moskov. So he played a Moskov once.
All right, sorry,
The
for
third
Pao
game.
Fu. For Pao Fu. Pao Fu's played
Pao Fu.
Das,
Yeah,
Zetian, Kimi, and now Zushin.
Yeah, so we kind of know him more as like an artillery mage specialist.
Correct, and now he's suddenly playing utility while LG, Legion Esports, picking up, there it is, Pao Fu's Kimi, and then puts the same hero on Joga, which is, I think, well earned, because his joy was pretty okay.
It worked out great.
It was
actually.
decent, it was strong.
Aside from the tempo, yeah.
Where it mattered, yes, maybe popped off a little too late, but now Rare Atom locking in their first phase with a Fredrin, so this is a very different flavor.
Very standard kind of thing, but this also means that Rare Atom, they already show their opponents, we're going front to back, we'll play you.
What a swing. This is a flavor of Rare Atom we've yet to see in the wild card. They've always played an assassin, they've always played an artillery mage, and yeah, we've seen Mikey win with a Moskov yesterday, but now, what a swerve. They're still taking away Crime God's Cho, so they're respecting that new imports key pick. All this while, Legion Esports taking out the Masha away from Dawn.
I think that one thing that Coach Ryzan might want to look out for is all about those pickoffs. They want to ensure that their front line constantly stays alive. Any form of pickoff, such as the Cho, such as the Kalia, will always be great for them. So now, looking at the other possible pickoff heroes, we don't see Kaja that much, but Franco has always been a pocket thing that we could possibly see.
That's right. So Franco's still at large for both squads here. Coach Ryzan taking out Daylight's carry while Legion Esports. Coach Sabo, he bans out the Matilda. No showing of Matilda so far for Rare Atom, so I guess they're just covering all their bases, making sure that this already very strong heart of Rare Atom's lineup isn't fortified by more mobility. Like, imagine that. Like, how gross would that be if you have full battlefield control with a mid trio of Zushin, Matilda, and Fredrin?
Exactly.
Gross.
One thing that we always look at Fredrin is that he's a very committal hero. The moment he goes in, he kind of wants to stay in, go big or go home.
He has no choice.
Yep, but if you have a Matilda, then that's a completely different story.
He suddenly has choice.
Yeah, a lot of choices, let's be honest about that. So what's it gonna be now? We are more or less done with the drafting for the bannings and all. With the final ban we talked about with the Matilda, I absolutely love that ban. Otherwise, it would be quite a phenomenal game for Rare Atom.
Yeah, but I'm glad that Rare Atom also blocked out the carry, because yesterday Daylight really punished the Mongols when they played against them with that carry. And that was, I think, the game-winning play when he won that fight near the Lord Pit, close to the purple side of Mongo's jungle. So with that said, we're trying to load back into the draft here, trying to find out what these two teams picked for their last two, the second phase. How do they lock these in? If I'm not mistaken, you're still missing a gold laner and a roamer
for Legion. And then for Rare Atom, they're missing a roamer and a XP later.
That's right.
And if I'm not wrong, Lapu should still
Lapu's open. Lapu's open. Arlet's open.
Arlet, yeah.
Esmeralda's open. We're talking about just heroes that Dawn has used.
I would definitely say that Lapu should still be in his eyes right now. He kind of fits the order of front to back very well. Just deal with the front lines and slowly just kind of deal with the back. You've got the Moskov to work with you.
Lapu Flicker is good because you can ruin the Kimi.
Yeah.
I like it. And then you can just win the match, win the ganks against Joga. Like, I'm pretty sure Joga still has trauma from that game one.
This is a game from Rare Atom that we might actually potentially see a possible Enchanter support, actually, if they want to play a very tanky front line of an XP laner.
Do you count Hylos as an Enchanter?
No, he's not really. He's just a beefy...
I don't know. Having heard about the word on Cat9's playstyle and preferences, he likes these
tanky,
these old school sandbags, you know?
Right.
Like, just walls of meat.
I want to see Enchanter support. We had to talk about it before. We thought that we will see a lot more of these.
Which was weird because in the weeks leading up to this, tier 3, tier 2 tournaments, I've seen a lot. Like Estes was a menace.
Estes was kind of like the first week of the patch. Everyone was just dunking it in.
Yeah, because of the change to his linking. He now, instead of heals up more, he adds hybrid defense, which is amazing in long-term team fighting. So now, back into the draft, Rare Adam, we're still pending for their... There it is!
Oh!
Their XP later, the Arlo.
Okay.
I miss the Arlo.
I at least managed to catch 1 or 2 games to the outlet so far. So now the ball is on the court of Legion Esports. Like you mentioned, we're lacking a roamer as well as a gold laner. The current gold laners that is available is going to be a Bruno, or if they want to play kind of like a divey kind of thing, what's going to be your expectations? Irithel?
Yeah, that's the only other option. Granger's still out there. I wouldn't Harith. There's no room for Harith. Way too much magic damage now.
How bad would Claude be, actually?
Yeah, no, I don't think Claude. Claude is so
No
far
place
off.
in the meta?
Not in this draft.
Not in this draft.
Just this draft specifically. So they need a roamer and a gold laner. Yeah, those are my calls.
Khalid!
Oh yeah, Bruno. Bruno's
Okay.
open.
Yep.
Yesterday, Legion Esports banned this in Game 3, so they at least know how important a Bruno is. How fast it can scale too, especially with a roam Khalid.
So they want to play fast games, huh?
Yeah, best known to be used in the hands of M6 World Champion Brusco. Rare Adam, they close up with a Lucas. Hold up.
Huh?
Wait. Okay,
So Rome Arlet and XP Lucas?
that seems to be the only sound choice, because would you
I wouldn't put a Lucas in jungle.
Yeah, would you jungle Lucas now and then XP Fred? Because
I wouldn't do that.
you wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
But this is Rare Adam we're talking about. Anything is possible, especially since they are feeling themselves. They won a 26-minute game and are at match point. What a wrench in the plans. Again, I don't know if any of the Legion boys saw this coming. We didn't.
We didn't see it coming at all. I thought that...
Is this the first Lucas of all the wild card?
Yes, it will be. And we completely took Lucas out of the picture. With all the changes to him, they kind of butchered these
They
possibilities.
shot him down, dog. They shot him down just like they did our boy Suyo. There's way too many nerfs in such a short amount of time.
Oh man. So we'll see how this is gonna go, ladies and gentlemen. This is game number 2 between Legion Esports and Rare Adam. Legion on the blue side and Rare Adam on the red.
Okay, to quell all fears, it is indeed just an XP lane, Lucas, Rome, Arlott, and then Fredrin and Jung. Hold up, wait, powerful, very low.
He's scary. He's definitely scary. Cramgon, he did lose quite a bit of HP as well, but it doesn't seem like it would all be a bad... Wait, hold a second. Why is Dawn winning against Meow?
Yeah, no, because of the sheer damage. They changed the way the ult works. They changed the cooldown, but they didn't lessen the damage.
Okay.
So yeah, Dawn, we might have bumped into this weird...
Interaction, I guess.
Yeah, this weird specific matchup wherein it's not the Dairoth, it's not the Esmeralda, but the Lucas against the Uranus.
Okay, we'll see how long this actually lasts against that Uranus. Because the moment that Uranus kind of dips himself right out of the fight, he'll be back in with full HP like shortly after, right? But in the meantime, the Lucas doesn't have that great of a spell vamp in his base kit.
yet.
So it definitely needs some time for him to kind of pop off.
Okay, I'd reckon this is going to be either a hybrid or more on damage build.
Feels bruiser to
Lucas. Yeah. So maybe if you're saying bruiser, 60% damage and then 40% defense. So, it's just like one choice defense item, two choice defense items. Because you still got to win. Look, he's beating up Meow.
Yeah. So I would like to understand. I would like to believe that he would want to possibly, if he's kind of leading, he can still kind of go for the Hunter Strike into the War Axe and then end it off with the Queen's Wings, right? So technically, it's kind of the same in some sense.
Yeah. So he's not going off of script. It's just that the fact that we did not expect Lucas to show up.
Not at all.
Is changing the way we understand this matchup. Now he's going hunting, finds Joga, pops. The Beast Unleashed.
He's still got quite a bit of damage. He forces Joga out of the fight already, and there is no way for Joga to try to come in and steal the turtle out of Rare Adam.
Mission accomplished.
Value.
They're allowing Lanaya to call the shots, and I reckon it was something close to you go zone out Joga, zone out Meow, so I can clearly take this, and we can snowball out of control like in game 1.
Looks like everything's still in the script. Rare Atom understands exactly what they're trying to do, and in fact, at this point in time, they're even trying to play a lot more aggressive, even though this is a possibility for these two members, Lanaya and Cat9, to get completely sandwiched out. However, that is going to be the final slash that forces CramGod to flicker out of the way.
Oh my lord, Grand Theft Orange in your face. Legion Esports is well aware that Rare Atom stole away their orange, and there's nothing they can do about it. Rare Atom are pushing forward in value, but here's the thing. We cannot discount Legion Esports. Again, game one, we saw that they were so beat down, right? Early lead for Rare Atom, but still, Joga was able to farm up. So maybe he'll do the same thing here.
We'll see how this goes. Meow actually kind of helped Lanaya to kind of clear his own orange buff a little bit earlier than normal. So now he's back into the fight. He can definitely do something to Legion Esports now because Don, he's well on his way to getting himself quite a bit of a pretty good fight against these Uranus. I don't even know if whether there will be a point in time where Uranus can leave his lane faster than Don.
What was that? Was that, yep, Cat9 firing off a final slash, hoping to catch a rogue member of Legion Esports in the river brush. But these are very aggressive rotations. Look at how they're circling around, not even near the turtle just yet, forcing a Raging Sandstorm from CramGod. Legion Esports, again, what's the game plan here? This is such a different tempo, even from game one.
I think that even for them, they don't have the avenue to initiate, because when it comes down to initiating, they want to play in full-on team fight kind of thing, right? Allow CramGod go in, Raging Sandstorm, Meow soaks in the damage, but now Meow is kind of stuck in lane. They have got no way to kind of clear the wave unless he goes in for proxying.
Early consecration used on the Meow, missing that final slash just by an inch. Now CramGod onto Mikey. Oh wow, this is one way to make up for some farm.
Okay, so at least they do have a couple of the energy turret shields all the way down to the bottom lane. They will, of course, yield that turtle over to Rare Atom and just be like, no, it's okay, we got some money out of the turrets.
100% turtle take rate so far for the Chinese squad. Rare Atom winning lane to lane. Say what you will about the energy shield turret, but they weren't able to take it down. There wasn't enough firepower just yet, or it wasn't as full committal because Rare Atom was about to send dudes over there to stop Legion Esports from pushing. And look at this, the top lane gets opened up for Dawn.
More energy shields being taken, so it's just kind of going back and forth.
Oh.
Though not a lot of objectives from the side of Legion Esports. They're trying to play things a little bit safer, hoping that they will be able to transition over to the mid stages of the game with not any casualty.
I'm trying to look at this glass half full, but Cat9 has missed 3 out of 3 final slashes in the past minute.
No, it's all about conditioning.
Or zoning. See, that's why I'm saying, right, optimistically, it's because he's just checking range and making sure no one from Legion comes in and gets punished. But Rare Atom, they're winning, so it doesn't matter. Up by about 1,000 gold now. Joga finally picks up his Starlium sight. A lot of pressure on the Paofu. Paofu is such a champ. He's taken this well because he's really not doing much, but the fact that he's not doing much and they're still winning this much means his Zushin is working.
Just continue to go on. As long as Rare Atom is able to hold their front lines pretty well, then that's going to be great. But in the meantime, Cat9 opens things up with that final slash, but it's not going to go anywhere too far. Lanaya actually dealt quite a bunch of damage over to Mel despite that small amount of grey HP.
Yep, he dealt damage and he took damage, and he's still here to fight. And they're putting a lot of pressure on this gold lane tier 1 down bottom. Let's see. No fights just yet. Oh! I was waiting for Cat9 to pull the final slash again.
One thing that I don't really like about Esports, Legion Esports lineup is the fact that their only crowd control is locked behind a single ultimate. And that's the only thing that they have, right? As long as CramGod kind of misses the ultimate, oh, boo-hoo. They no longer have got any ways to stop Lanaya.
Well, technically 1.5. Oh, wait.
1.5?
Duel. CramGod and the rest of them dodges it. Flickers out of the way. Yeah, 1.5. You have the Raging Sandstorm.
Yep.
And the...
Oh, right, Shocker, right, never mind.
Yes.
The Kimi. Kimi still have got quite a bit.
Falls. Yeah, but again, it's soft control.
Soft control, even the Immobilize as well, so it's still something, right? As long as CramGod lands something, so at least Shocker can come in for a follow-up. So at least they still got something working out for them.
Okay, that's a third turtle taken by Rare Atom. Abstract, this is a 0-0 score game so far, 7 minutes in. It's clear that Rare Atom are winning on the map, but what do they do with it, right? They're just taking these turtles and nothing else.
It's not a far cry between these two teams at all. We don't have a gap that big because we're only looking at what...
change.
Yeah. It's not massive at all. In fact, Legion Esports, they are quite disciplined.
It's not tough.
It's not tough?
It's not big. It's about average, and here we go. That's an ult thrown out by Shocker on Lanaya. solo. Nothing gonna happen there. That's a lot of nothing happening for about 8 minutes now.
Nothing at all. But maybe turrets, we're starting to see something. And this is definitely going to go down.
Oh!
And Ori for someone, the amount of damage that Don actually managed to dish out is pretty darn crazy. But it seems like Don wants to continue on to this fight. He manages to flicker himself out of the way and gets a kill down a shotgun. Finally, some trades going on about. But Don, he can't get any closer to Daylight, allowing him to get, allowing Daylight to get himself one kill.
That's a 2 for 2. Massive flex by Don. He started everything and then he ended everything. But the fact that they lost Mikey along the way makes this a more beneficial trade for Legion Esports. They only lost their mid laner and their roamer. So roll per roll, economy-wise, Rare Atom kind of bit off more than they could chew. This does lead to a push down bottom. So I guess mission accomplished still for Rare Atom. And now traction pause thrown out. It's so hard because you're right. Abstract, because of the lack of true CC, or at least more easily accessible initiations, Legion Esports can't pick fights so quickly. Maybe that's what explains just the low kill score.
Yeah, even if they find an opportunity, they're locked behind a long animation of that Raging Sandstorm as well. And in order for you to almost guarantee that lockdown, CramGod have to use his flicker. So if they want to really commit to it, they have to go all out.
All right, luckily CramGod does have his flicker up. Cooldown on all massive ults of cooldown 2. And now the Lord Dance has begun. Meow putting tabs onto Lanaya, powerful, threatening the slam. Dawn gets spotted out here by CramGod. The map clearly belongs to Rare Atom, but they are still sending over Mikey. He can go coast to coast. Not much, even this Lord Dance is taking much longer for a clear victor to surface.
Even for Legion Esports, it seems as though they are not afraid of any repercussions that may happen to them. Like, Rare Atom isn't exactly touching Meow nor on the CramGod. They're constantly just dancing around, ensuring that they can kind of fire some of these pot shots over to the Lord as much as possible. CramGod, though, he's actually lost a lot of HP. He had to go for the quick sand guard now, and this might actually spiral into something. As Lanaya just going to be chaining the Retribution alone with the Appraiser's Wrap, allowing them to get themselves the Lord as well as CramGod is in Daylight, just both of them going down as Mikey joins into the fray well enough and just continuously just putting themselves right into the face of Meow. As such, it's going to be done. Moving on forward, Shock is not going to go down. They're going to be fine.
Legion Esports, they faced Rare Atom on an arena they weren't ready for. They said, we're going to go for the Lord. And instead of going for the turn, went for the Lord as well. And you can't beat the Appraiser's Wrath plus the Retribution combo.
Way too much damage.
Maybe only second the lethal counter on Balmond plus Retribution. So, Rare Atom now, clear win. Again, they're up on a kill. They gained one more than Legion Esports. They got the big objective and are holding on to the biggest lead they've had all game. Oh no, Dawn!
Oh no, Dawn! He's managed to get himself quite a bit of spell vamp, but that is only going to get them to buy enough time per se. So now the Lord charges onto his trident and managed to get quite a bit of chunk away from the T3 turret, hoping that they will be able to crack this one open, and they might actually be able to actually. Meow pushing himself forward, trying to push Rare Atom a little bit further away, creates some great space, but they still lost the T3 turret. Joga comes in between. Proxy wasn't able to get a kill on the Rare Atom though.
Okay, that was a split-second decision made by Joga. He definitely could have dived in, all right? He definitely could have said, no, push, we're going to fight him. But instead, he went the other way. He turned the other cheek, Abstract. He said, no, I'm going to go for my purple. We'll play for the map, which I think is a smart move. Don't get me wrong. He definitely could have forced the issue, but it's just 11 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
There is time to make up for it, and they already lost their inhibitor down bottom, so they should cut their losses and reclaim parts of the map instead of overcommitting and overextending.
Absolutely agree. At that point in time, it's gonna, yes, they are in a position to do so, but is it the right time to do it so, right? 11 minutes and 48 seconds now. At the moment that they kind of go down, yes, they can lose a couple, one or two, and they still can make it for the Lord, but it will definitely be scary because they will lose real estate around their own jungles.
That's right. You could, but
would you?
Should you?
Yeah, should you? Yes.
Put it on a shirt. Could you, but should you? All ranked game players should ask themselves these questions several hundred times per game. You could, but should you? And now Legion Esports, the reason why the map looks relatively blue is because they made that call. So they're holding on 4-4, about 2,000 gold between these squads. Legion Esports holding on, making a play. They're setting up to contest this Lord coming up in about 20, upper quarter. I'm not so sure if the strategies that they employed in Game 1 will work. Because popping Lanaya now is so much harder than it was in Game 1.
It's tough, man. This guy is a tanky beast. I'm not exactly sure what items that he has, but one thing's for sure is that he's got quite a lot of HP working for him now. Even Meow doesn't have too much, but he's just a regenerative boy. So with the Lord now available, this is going to be the continuous dance, right? The global presence is ultimately going to be important. Rare Adam can have, of course, a very strong lane down in the bottom. It's an opposite lane after all.
Oh man, is this... Say it ain't so. Are they really going to commit Cram God to this? Oh no, what is Cram God doing?
Huh? I think he's just waiting for the possible appearance of Mikey, I suppose. But Mikey, SOD, is not going to land, but this is going to be a fake out because he's actually pretty darn close into the fight. As such, he will join into the fray with the Spear of Quiescence, just going to be melting down the members of Joker and Legion Esports already losing 3. Cram God and Daylight back into their base, and they have got nothing to do but to bring down Ballistas.
That was all Rare Adam. Legion Esports, again, one could only guess what the plan was. Cram got to clear the wave. Cram got to just hide in the bush and buy. I don't know if he was buying time even. Now the Lord's marching down bottom. There's a fat wave in mid. All of Rare Adam are underneath the base. Cram got very low, and now they're just waiting for a wave.
The waves now marches in. There is a Lord down at the bottom as well. But unfortunately for Rare Adam, Legion Esports, all of their members are back, baby.
I'm still hung up on the fact that there were better decisions, more calls that Legion Esports could have done. Maybe even Joe got to clear that wave down bottom. If they were fully committing to the Lord, then maybe let go of the Lord. Instead, they had to lose 3 dudes, lose priority on the map, and then lose their mid lane inhibitor too. This could have been worse. 100%, this could have been ended right then and there.
They could be,
but
yeah.
They lost more than they should have, is what I'm saying.
There is still going to be a very tight wave moving up from the top lane, though. We do have a quick little taunt from the 9. They're going to land on anyone, but in the meantime, the final slash connects. Cram God goes straight in, of course, ensuring that he still has the quick sand guard, but he still goes down. 10-9 is going to be next onto the chopping block, but maybe Shocker will be able to do something over to the side of Dawn, but he gets melted down almost immediately with a double kill credited over to him. Rare Adam has not lost anyone except for Cat 9, and this is going to be more than enough for them to deal with now and subsequently the Crystal.
Rare Adam takes the game and the series, a sweep. They are moving up to the next stage of the wild card. Win 2, and you go into the single elims. Wow, our first